Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $10,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 74-year-old male. Now, first thing we always recommend is go to our website at funeralfunds.com, and we've got these free quoters on just about every page of our website, and you can select the state that you live in. And we are licensed in all 50 states, by the way. Select the coverage amount, put your birthday in there, the rest of the info, click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies in your state that has the lowest rates based off your age, gender, and of course the state you live in. And it's a great way to shop around and check out all the best insurance companies out there. Take full advantage of that. You can also call us directly at 888-862-9456. One of our licensed agents can help you out as well. Now, one of the first things we recommend for a 74-year-old male looking for $10,000 worth of coverage is, deciding, is $10,000 going to be an appropriate amount of coverage for your final expense needs? Now, typically that final expense needs are going to be either cremation or burial. So let's tackle cremation first. There's really two options. The first option is if you get cremated and you just come home in a cardboard box or an urn. And that's going to be between $1,000 to $2,000 on average. And then the other option is if you're going to have some sort of a ceremony, like a remembrance ceremony or celebration of life ceremony in addition to the cremation, that's probably typically going to be around $3,500 to $4,500, depending on the part of the country that you live in. Now, as far as coverage amount for that cremation where you come home in a cardboard box or an urn, we would typically help people with coverage in the $5,000 to $7,000 range. Now, some of you might be going, well, Randy, hold on. You said cremation's $2,000, but the insurance you're recommending $5,000. What's going on with that? Well, what's going on with that is our 74-year-old male probably wants to make it to age 84, and maybe even a little bit more. And we know that as time goes on, the prices of things tend to increase due to inflation. So actually what we're doing is we're getting a little more coverage than we need right now to inflation-proof the plan. But what we're also doing is locking in the lowest rates based off our youngest age as of right now. And that way you don't have to add more coverage later if you don't feel the need to, which is terrific. So it does two things. It really inflation-proofs your plan for the long run, and it also provides some extra money in the short term if, God forbid, you didn't live as long as you thought, and maybe there were some extra bills that needed to be paid, maybe credit card bills, medical expenses, or something like that, that if given the gift of time, you would have paid those off. So it works really good, protects both kind of long-term and short-term. Now, for that cremation where you're going to have the ceremony, we would typically help people with between $7,000 to $10,000. And you can get more, you can get less, but that's our typical. And again, what we're doing is we're inflation proofing the plan on the long end. And then on the short end, we're just providing some extra funds if, God forbid, you died, fairly soon after you got the policy, right? That'd be unfortunate, right? The other option out there is burial. And right now, the average cost of a burial in the United States is right around $10,000. If you walk into pretty much any funeral home in the United States with a check for $10,000, they should work with you to get things done. If they didn't, you could just walk back out that door and walk 2 blocks down the road to one of their competitors, and they should be able to help you out with that. But just understand, $10,000 right now is not going to be an elaborate funeral by any means. It's going to be very simple. It's going to be very minimalistic. And it's just going to get it done, hopefully, for right now. But also consider, it's not inflation-proofed at all. So most 74-year-old males that we would help would get either like between $10,000 or $15,000, sometimes $20,000, but that's getting a little up there for a 74-year-old male. So probably somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000. Just understand that if you're on a fixed or limited income and it's all you can afford is that $10,000, get that $10,000 for right now. That's going to cover your most immediate needs, and we can always help you add more coverage later. But if you want to get a little bit more coverage to inflation-proof your plan, maybe $15,000, $20,000, we can certainly help you out with that as well. And if you want more coverage than that, we can certainly help you out. But we've just found that typically for most people, that's unnecessary. Now, some people will occasionally say, hey, I want to take care of my final expenses, but I also want to leave some money behind for the kids. And they'll say, well, what's $30,000, $40,000, $50,000? So we say we run a $50,000 for them. And they see that price, and it's just because they waited too long till age 74, right? And it's just a little bit out of their price range. And sometimes people will say, Well, if I can't do everything, I'm not going to do anything at all. And we have to remind them that they originally came in because they didn't want the kids to have to pay, their final expenses. Because what typically happens is the kids aren't going to have the money, so they're going to have to put it on credit cards. And then, they're typically going to have to pay 26% interest, and they're going to be paying on this for years and years and years. So we always recommend just take care of, if money's tight, take care of the funeral, cremation, whatever it is first, and then we can always follow up at a later time and add some extra coverage that would go for the kids. And that's just a great way of doing it. People appreciate that. If money's not so much an issue, we can certainly do it all at once for you. But for most people, we hope money's kind of an issue. And we are perfectly flexible to help you out with that. One thing we always recommend getting, though, is first day coverage or benefits. We never recommend getting a 2-year waiting period plan if you qualify for first day coverage. And we'll talk about that 2-year wait here in just a moment. But what first day coverage means is that hypothetically, if your plan were issued and approved today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write that check for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever it is. That's going to be the best coverage at the lowest pricing. Now, some people say, well, you're right, Randy. I do want that first day coverage, but I'm not in the best of health. And I know those first day coverage plans ask health questions. I'm a little worried I won't qualify. When we hear that, we just say, hey, that's our problem, not your problem, at least from an insurance standpoint. And what we mean by that is we work with a number of different insurance companies, and they all have different health questions, and they all have different underwriting requirements. And right now, we're getting around 90 to 95% approval for either first day coverage or benefits. So we're really terrific at what we do. Really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to get your first day coverage is if you just waited too long and you had some significant health issues going on, like maybe a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or in a hospital, or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we would typically refer you out to a different insurance company. What also seems to happen on a weekly basis is somebody will call us up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week and they didn't have insurance and we don't have any money. Now their body's down at the funeral home and the funeral home director is not going to do anything till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance from the insurance company really quick so that we can get a check so that we can pay the funeral home director. We have to let them know that there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to issue a policy on a dead person, right? You got to be alive to actually qualify for this insurance. And it's really sad that they lost a family member. It's doubly sad that their family member didn't care enough about them to get this insurance in advance. They knew they were going to die. They just didn't know when. They probably thought about getting this insurance, but they just put it off and put it off and put it off until one day they just went and died. And now their family members are left to pick up the pieces and pay this debt. And chances are they're going to have to put it on a credit card at 26% interest, and it's going to take years and years to pay this off. And that's just a terrible burden on the people that you love the most, and it's a terrible legacy. You could have done everything else right in life, and you messed this one thing up, and that's how you'll be remembered. So, yeah, don't leave that legacy behind. The one thing we never recommend is getting those 2-year waiting period plans, like I mentioned before. Colonial Penn's a fairly well-known company out there. I think it's just because they advertise their $9.95 plan on TV all the time. Seems like that commercial's on like every 7 minutes or something like that. Yeah, but if you didn't know this, Colonial Penn, their $9.95 plan is a 2-year waiting period policy. Ouch, 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 right? You probably didn't know that. But, they're not the only one out there that only offers 2-year waiting period plans. There's other companies out there too that, like Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber. And, some of these other companies have other products too, but they really push the 2-year waiting period plans. And some of these companies have done a pretty dang good job of convincing the American public that if you're over the age 50, the only thing you're going to qualify for is a 2-year waiting period, which we always say, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Yes, we do. Now, our 74-year-old male probably just got done watching a Colonial Penn commercial, and he's probably thinking, oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful commercial. And, for $9.95, they've really convinced me they can really help me out. And I'm probably going to get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000, and I'll only pay $9.95. I outsmarted them. I waited all the way till age 74. I'm going to get so much insurance coverage. And then our 74-year-old male calls Colonial Penn and talks with one of their agents, or goes on their website like we've done for you here. And they'll see that for a male age 74, 1 unit of coverage, which is $9.95, is only going to pay out $578. That is not even enough for a cremation in anywhere in the United States that we know of. And you know what? It wouldn't matter if it was, because it's got a 2-year waiting period. It's not going to pay out any life insurance benefit in the first 2 years if you die of any health or medical reason. So why would you ever get a plan that has such minimal coverage that's not going to do hardly anything for you, even though it's that great price of $9.95? Now, there's some people out there that say these companies that offer these teaser rates, right? These real low rates that are meant to tease you, to get your information so they can get you in their marketing funnel. And then when they call you, they'll gladly share that $9.95 rate or whatever that low teaser rate is. And they'll show you how minuscule that coverage is. And then what they'll do is they'll say, hey, you're going to need more than that. And then they're going to upsell you into a more expensive product with more coverage that's going to be much more profitable for them. Now, we would never say Colonial Penn would ever do anything like that, but some people out there seem fairly well convinced of that. And I guess you can make your own decision based off the fact that you're only going to get $578 for $9.95. So this video is about $10,000. So let's see how much $10,000 would cost for Colonial Penn. The one problem is they only go up to 15 units with Colonial Penn. And I'm not sure we're even going to be able to get to 10,000 based off 15 units, since 1 unit is only $578, right? So let's take a look. Let's look at 13. Nope, 13 is not enough. Nope, 14 is not enough. You got to play around with these units. A lot of people find that very annoying, because most other companies, you can just say, hey, I want 10,000, I want 15,000. No, not Colonial Penn. You got to play around with units. Here we go, 15 units. So here we go. We're maxed out. Colonial Penn, 15 units. And it's only going to pay out $8,670. And that's going to be $150 roughly, just rounding numbers, $150. So let's do this. Let's go see what first day coverage would be, and let's see how much money we can save, because it's going to be a fair amount. Here we go. $10,000 male, age 74, get quote. Here we go. Let's take a look at this again. 8,500 roughly for 149. Look at this. So we can actually get 10,000 for right around $90, $89.53. We'll just say $90. So you got $90. Would you rather get 10,000 for $90, or would you rather get 8,670 for $150, right? Man, that's going to be an extra $60 a month, and you're going to get roughly $1,500 less coverage, just roundabout. Why would you ever do that? Let's do the math on that. So if it's $60 extra a month, 60 times 12 is, you'd be overpaying $720 a year, roughly more, by going with Colonial Penn versus first day coverage. And if our 74-year-old male makes it to age 84, you'd be roughly overpaying around $7,200 on a $10,000 policy, just by going with Colonial Penn and their higher pricing. Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever do that? I guess you would only do it if you were uneducated. You need to be an educated consumer. And that's why we provide our pricing quoting tool here, so you can do some research on your own. But yeah, we would never recommend you transfer $7,200 worth of your bank account, worth of your savings, worth of your wealth to an insurance company, to their bank account, when you could keep that for you. You could spend that on you. You could spend that on your family. You could keep it in the bank for an emergency. Why would you ever give an insurance company an extra $7,200 over the next 10 years when you don't have to? So, if you can qualify for first day coverage, you need to do that. And we can help you get approved with these lowest price companies. So let's compare it to some other companies here too. Let's take a look. There'll be some other, you'll be able to see all these different insurance companies. Well, here's one like Lumico. We see them once in a while. Level coverage, first day. They're like $12 more a month. So you go, well, what's $12? It's not that much. Well, 12 bucks times 12 months is $144 a year more. If our 74-year-old male lives to age 84, that would be, you would overpay $1,440 roughly. So let me ask you this. If you were ever walking down the sidewalk, would you ever just pull out your wallet and pull out $1,440 and just throw it on the sidewalk and walk away and let people pick that up and keep it? No, you wouldn't do that. Why would you do that with an insurance company then? Because when you lock yourself into a higher premium from the very first day, you're going to overpay on that for the rest of your life. And you are just literally throwing money away. So don't do that. Let us help you get the lowest price. Let's look at some other companies here. Oh, here's one more. Lincoln Heritage. Fine company, I guess. But look at that pricing, 118 bucks. It is level first day coverage. But, why is it so expensive? It's kind of almost, it's just shy of $30 more expensive a month. But why is that? Well, they've got a deal where when you pass away, that they will supposedly call 2-3 different funeral homes, kind of negotiate the best pricing, maybe do a couple other things, but they don't do that for free. They charge you for that, higher premiums. So yeah, I mean, it's roughly $30. I'm just going to round numbers up. It's easier math for me. Roughly $30 a month. That'd be after 12 months, for every 12 months on an annual basis, you'll end up paying an extra $360 more. And if that goes 10 years, our male age 74 gets to 84, you have overpaid roughly $3,600. It's a couple bucks less than that. So let's say you overpaid like $3,500 roughly, right? You got to ask yourself though, is it worth paying an insurance company an extra $3,500 over 10 years for a 74-year-old male to call 2 or 3 funeral homes to get some pricing and do a couple other things that may only take an hour or so to do? At an hourly rate, that's a great payday for an insurance company. We don't recommend you do that. We recommend you keep that money in your bank account. Don't give that to an insurance company. And then what we recommend doing is letting us help you get approved for the lowest price. But then we have on our website a download. You can download our free funeral and estate planning guide. You download that and then you print it out. And once you print it out, you fill it out. You write down who gets what and what goes where and what you want done after you're gone. And then you keep that with your insurance policy. And then when you pass away, everything's going to be in one place for your family. And they will know that you not only loved and protected them financially with the insurance, but you loved and protected them emotionally with the funeral and estate planning guide. Because all they'll need to do is open that funeral and estate planning guide and start reading. And then all they'll have to do is follow your wishes, just execute what you'd written down. And they'll have that peace of mind knowing that they're doing everything exactly how you wanted it done, and you provided the money to do it. And they will know that you not only loved and protected them in life, but you actually loved and protected them in death, exactly when they would need it the most, when you're not here. But you will have taken care of this in advance. And what a wonderful legacy to leave behind for your loved ones. So if you want to leave that legacy, go to funeralfunds.com. We've actually got a special quote for our YouTube visitors, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And you can get the best company, the lowest price, most discounts. We created that especially for you. Take full advantage of that. You can check prices. If you don't want to do that, you can always call us up at 888-862-9456, and we can help you understand what your options will be and what you qualify for and what your pricing will be. But, if you've got an existing policy and you want us to price shop around to see if we can save you money, or you want to add coverage to that, we can help you out with that. If you're looking for a brand new policy or just have some questions, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to that day where we can help you get the most amount of insurance for the least amount of money. We will be blessed to help you with this at some point in the future. And till that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.